Hello, good morning, and hello, good morning, and welcome to this On Busters Taste Challenge. We have from 1934 Seagram 7 Crown. It wears 7 crowns. Kabbalah. It's the king of American blended whiskey. Coming to you from Lawrenceburg, Indiana. It says somewhere on here. Distiller since 1857. Well, that's true. Seagram's did start in 1857. But Seagram's is no longer a company. It's just a group of brands, products. Ginger ale owned by Coca-Cola. Gin owned by Pernod Ricard. And Scotch whiskey owned by Pernod Ricard. Seagram's 100 Pipers. The 7 Crown is owned by Diageo, and then now, as of the past year, the Seagram's VO and the VO Gold and the 83 is owned by Sazerac, and then there's some other ones. So anyway, that's it. The Seagram's company has not been in business for 19 years. Okay, this is the older label. I've been nursing this bottle for about 3 years. I have a new bottle I bought for $12.97 at Walmart. I have the website link right here down below, and it says, I'm looking on Seagram's 7 on website. There's also an apple and honey version. There's probably other versions too that they don't list. You know how that goes. Seagram's 7 Crown is an American icon, which it is, because one of the top selling whiskeys in America, one of the top 5, I think, or for sure the top 10, but I think one of the top 5. See it at every bar in the world, well, every bar in America. With a rich heritage, a blended American whiskey, Seagram's 7 Crown is carefully blended and aged in oak. With its smooth, sweet taste and creamy vanilla finish, Seagram's 7 Crown, approachable and smooth taste profile. It should say, that's a grammatical error. It should say Seagram's 7 Crowns, approachable and smooth taste profile, stands up against today's biggest shot brands and in its signature drink, the 7 and 7. The nose, alluring, clean, and crisp with a hint of citrus. Yes, I'll go along with that. Now, is this the original? No, because if you look at old advertisements from the 1950s and 60s, it says that it's 86.6 proof, so nearly 90 proof back then. And I think I'm gonna just finish off this bottle because heck, I got another one. And I like the fact that it's a brown bottle, okay? Most of these whiskeys are in clear and the light can damage them. This is brown, so that's a smart idea. But anyway, so it used to be 86.6 proof, and it was 66 to 34 blend ratio. There's a higher percentage of straight bourbon or straight whiskey, whatever. 34%. Now it's only 25%. That's like Beam's 8-Star. Beam's 8-Star used to be 25%, but in the last 4 years, 4 or 5 years, they lowered it to 20%. But I told my friend David, I said, what are you doing with a bottle of 8-Star? He said, I use it. I have it around. All right, so the Clubhouse. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Clubhouse is an oddity. This is from Heaven Hill. If you've ever had Heaven Hill, Kentucky blended whiskey, believe me, this looks and tastes nothing like it. This one is very dark amber, almost brown. You know why? And there's a brown label because it's caramel colored. And it says blended whiskey with natural flavors. And that's the most unusual flavors. The most unusual flavors. At first, I hated it. Like the first 3 tastings, I said, this is trash. You know, it doesn't taste right. Then I figured it out. Like I said, they must be using cocktail sherry. And then the next tasting, I said, I think they're using cocktail sherry and plum wine. Okay. You can't drink Seagram straight. Enjoy it at this price. Great mixer, though. I do think it's pretty good straight. Although, like they're saying on their own website, it's really a mixer. It's really made for mixed drinks, not made for this, what I'm doing. And you can almost assure yourself that that's what the clubhouse is made for. But I don't know why you want to even use it for a mixed drink. It would make the mixed drinks taste so strange. Appearance. Interesting, because the Seagrams is actually darker than the clubhouse. And I did not expect that. This is a deep brown. And this is not as dark amber brown, more of a caramel. So, okay. Now, is the Seagram's colored? It could have coloring added, caramel color. It is not required to disclose that for American blended whiskey or Canadian blended whiskey or Scotch blended Scotch whiskey. It's allowed. They add color and to make it more appealing, because some of these things would be nearly clear even if they aged it for 4 or 5 years in a used barrel. See, if the barrel is used, the first running is going to suck up all the color from the char, and then the other one's like a tea bag. It just doesn't. After the second running. After the first running, it just doesn't give you much color. And then every subsequent time, give you less and less. Okay, but these are not bourbons. They don't claim to be. You might see them sold on some websites as bourbon, but they aren't. They may contain 20 for Clubhouse, 25% straight bourbon for Seagrams, which might be Bullet, because that's the same company, Diageo. They might use Bullet for their straight bourbon. I don't know. I don't think I'll have to close my eyes, because even though the color is different, it's not drastically different. It's not profoundly different, but it is different. It ain't going to be a challenge. I don't even know why I was worried about a tag at the bottom, an identification tag. Why would I worry about that? There's no way I could mix these two up. No way. Seagram smells like wood and some pretty nice oak, really, as though they're using quality barrels in Indiana and Lawrenceburg. And then this Heaven Hill one, the Clubhouse, is so bizarre in the aroma that you couldn't mix it up with you wouldn't confuse it with anything. So I keep saying to myself, stop buying these blended whiskeys. They all taste the same. And then when I start tasting them, I realize there's only one little problem. They don't taste the same. They don't taste the same. And what am I putting down? $6, $7, or in the case of Seagram 7 Crown, $12.97. And it's justified. The price is justified because it's so much better than the other ones. Opinion on Four Roses. I've never really had the regular Four Roses. I see it around. I would like to try it. I had a Four Roses 10-year age special edition. Somebody gave me a little vial of it, about 4 ounces. I thought it was dynamite, but that's a very expensive product. And then he had a vial of Pappy Van Winkle, 18-year age, this thing. Well, that was a dynamite product too, but it was given to me. Okay, so I haven't bought any Pappy Van Winkle yet, and I haven't bought any Old Fitzgerald yet, and I haven't bought any Four Roses yet. You can't catch up with everything. It's like beer. When I do beer reviews, you can never in any way try everything. Unless you just drink all day long, then you'd be like a train wreck and your channel would not exist anyway. So it has to be measured. There has to be a golden mean. There has to be moderation, and there has to be a sense that you can't address everything. What I like to, and I don't really like to just try it once and move on like I did with Eagle Rare. I tried it. Oh man, dynamite, 90 proof. This is a dynamite 10-year age bourbon. And then I watched all the videos, like 50 videos, and everybody was saying the same thing. Yeah, it's really great. Now they had a few people that were saying it ain't that good, but that was rare. Most people talked about how dynamite was. But I rather have a whole bottle, and I feel more comfortable with 750 milliliters, an entire fifth. And then you drink it down, and you taste it down, and you get used to it, and you really get a handle on it. I feel better with that. I feel like I really get to know it. But this one and done tasting, like I do with beer, Well, you can't do anything else with beer. You don't drink it. You're going to drink it in a week when it's flat? So you can't really do it with beer any other way. I know you could buy a multi-pack, but then that starts getting expensive, and then you can't drink it, and then there's other ones you want to drink. So that's the problem with beer. Wine, you can sip on that for a few weeks. I'm hearing about this espresso stout from Founders, I think. I've heard about it. I've seen people are forever posting pictures on the internet, but I've not seen it. We get a lot of stuff in Louisiana, but we don't get the whole portfolio of anybody's stuff. And the reason is Louisiana is a small state. It's only around number 25 out of 50, or it's even lower than that. And so 4.5 million people, I'm talking about from Shreveport to New Orleans, from Monroe to Lake Charles, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, all of the whole state, the size of England, Great Britain. Great Britain has 70 million people. England, let's say England has 70 million people. Well, England, Wales, and Scotland, and Northern Ireland. And land-wise, it isn't much bigger than Louisiana, if it's bigger. We got 4.5, so we're much less crowded. So you can't flood our market with a bunch of products, because then it's not going to sell, because there's not enough people to buy it. Now, New Orleans, yeah, because you got tourists coming in and out, leaving, some in body bags, but you know what I'm saying, leaving. So you could have a higher turnover rate. But here where I live, in the river parishes, you just have a trickle of tourists. There's not enough to sustain a huge variety. And it would be the same if you lived in Wyoming or Montana or Mississippi or Alabama, Oklahoma. You just don't have enough people to justify a huge selection. Now, if I lived around Houston, okay, the variety is much more extensive. If I'll go to Houston, even Beaumont and Orange, you got that corridor, just people, people, people. So New York City, I mean, come on, but you're going to pay their nose. All right, so this, you saw how fast that whiff was? Now I'm telling you, this is the clubhouse. That quick, I know. Because of the strange cocktail sherry. And it's almost an unusual load of wood. You know what I mean? It's an overload of wood, almost to the extent that you think it might have oak extract added. That's a flavoring they add. And I believe that. It might be more of an aroma agent, but and what is oak extract? Exactly what you think it is. It's like juice squeezed out of an oak tree, and they make an essence from it and they sell it to, whiskey producers. You couldn't buy it, I don't believe. And I think there's plum wine in this. That might not be allowed, though. If I read the Tax and Trade Bureau website correctly, they're saying blended whiskey may have up to 2% blending sherry per volume, but it didn't say anything else about you could add plum wine and stuff. So it said blending sherry. It didn't mention any other flavorings. So maybe they're using a cocktail sherry. I say cocktail sherry. That's what it tastes like. That has a very strong flavor. Okay. And it just makes it so bizarre. Price is going to be crazy from what I think for a 4-pack. I'm not paying crazy prices anymore, okay? I've been there. I've done that. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to every day just be paying like those Bourbon County, Moncherie, $19.99. First, they had it priced incorrectly. It was $39.99. Nobody bought it. Then the distributor told the local store here in Matherns, oh, it was a screw up. It's $20 too high. It was $19.99. Then they had like 2 bottles left. But I'm not paying $19.99 for a flavored ale. You say, but it's dark. It's 14% alcohol. So, I mean, okay, I know what it's going to taste like. So, I'm from New Jersey. Supermarkets can't even sell beer here. Yeah, I noticed that. When I was in New Jersey, they're very restrictive. Louisiana, everybody sells beer, wine, and liquor. Every gas station, every convenience store, every supermarket, Walmart has a huge liquor selection. We have drive-through daiquiri shops. So, okay, now here's the more proper whiskey, if you want to say that. This is Seagram 7 Crown. I mean, I know it's got the tag on it, but the tag was worthless today because I'm not going to mix them up. I'm not. This has wood, but it's clean, like it's a clean wood aroma. You say, well, you mean like oak, just oak. Yeah, just like an oak barrel. And then the whiskey aromas, which is your kind of like candy corn, canned corn, because whiskey in America is mostly corn based. Whether it's the neutral spirits or the straight whiskey, bourbon, it's still corn, you know, maize, corn grits, corn syrup, corn flour, cornmeal, whatever concoction they're using of it to make. All the government says it has to be corn. It doesn't say what type of corn or what configuration of corn. It doesn't say that on the Tax and Trade Bureau website. It just say corn. Get some of that dried fruitcake fruit, some nectar from like honeysuckle, and it's kind of candy sugar like, but I always say whiskey to me tastes like candy, which is the reason I wouldn't overdo it, because I don't really like eating candy too much. I was thinking about that when I was walking through a grocery store the other day. I like whiskey and I say it tastes like candy, but I don't really care for candy. I mean, I had pecan pie for breakfast with some whipped cream, but that's pie. That's not candy. I'm talking about like hard candies. I like candy bars, like chocolate and nuts and caramel and nougat. Those are good. Okay, taste time. After all, it is a taste challenge. Although, like I said, it's not a challenge today. I took a little shot. Didn't swish around my mouth. Goes down kind of strange. I mean, picking up a lot of wood. That cocktail sherry. I'll say cocktail sherry, like I could be totally wrong. Could be some kind of blending sherry. And it's not like you can go to the grocery store and buy blending sherry. Or in New Jersey, the liquor store. But there's a lot of wood here. Sherry, and now some whiskey and some rye. Now, you see, this thing is so exotic. Kind of throws you for a loop. All right. I think they have a higher rye content than I had expected, and that got me confused as well. Clubhouse, making me more curious to go buy the Clubhouse brandy. But I think I'm gonna buy Corbel brandy next. It's about $14 a bottle, and I can put it up against the Martell cognac. You say, "Oh no, that's cognac. That's brandy." You know what? Cognac and brandy is the same exact thing. All it is brandy made in Cognac, France, which is a region of France. You could get some cheap cognac, yeah. All right, and some very expensive ones. That's all it means. We get sherry excellent for cooking. They used to call it cooking sherry, but they had to change the name because that goes in the food aisle, you know, the cooking wines. It's not a cooking wine. It's a different element. So sherry excellent for cooking. We get cream sherry, dry sherry, golden sherry, cocktail sherry. Don't know the others. The problem in New Jersey is too many little stores with awful old stock. Yeah, we get that here. Do people gift you bottles? Yeah, but then it's a hassle. Believe me, it's a hassle. These people almost like badger me. They're like, give me your address and I'll send you some beer. And sometimes they send it and it's wonderful. And then other times I'm like, I'll wait a week and I'm like, I thought this guy was going to send beer. And I ask him on Facebook, hey, because they always say, let's be friends on Facebook. And I'm thinking, all right, okay. And I tell them, you can join Alcohol Eggs if you want, which is my liquor group, beer, wine, and liquor. Oh yeah, this tastes like straight up whiskey. Like this is almost like a prototype. If you told somebody, hey, you want to try American blended whiskey? And they would say, well, I've had blended Scotch and I had blended Irish like Bushmills and I had blended Canadian like Seagram's, what used to be called Seagram's Crown Royal, but I never had American blended. And you wanted them to say, this is what it's supposed to taste like. You would use this as your benchmark or your prototype, Seagram 7 Crown. And everything is either going to be better than it, which I've not noticed that ever, or worse than it. which I've noticed for almost everyone I've tried. Are there any American blended whiskeys that are as good as Seagram's 7 Crown? There may be. I've never tasted them. Tastes like charred wood too. I think for many people, and I mean many people, if you let them try the Seagram 7 Crown and they didn't know what it was, they would think it's bourbon. They would say, oh yeah, I wonder what brand of bourbon that is. And they might be guessing, is that a Evan Williams? Is that Jim Beam? You know what I mean? They'd say something like, they wouldn't maybe think it was Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels is a little more rugged and harsh, ragged, not ragged, a little harsh or something. Plus it's sour mash and you can pick that up. But anyway, this would be your prototype. It wins, always wins. But golly, you wouldn't want to give them Clubhouse, because they would have an aberrant and a warped idea of what they might like it, but then they would have a very warped impression of what American blended whiskey was supposed to be. And it would could taint their perception of it. So you would give that as like, say, you want to try something weird? This stuff doesn't taste right, but you might like it, but it's not really the way it's supposed to taste. Good morning, Professor, says Jack Cottrell. Good morning to you. So anyway, about people sending me stuff, I've had some of these people. I'm going to name their names one day, but they say, oh yeah, I want to send you these beers from New York State. Say, okay. I don't really want you going to the trouble and expense. Oh no, it's no trouble. It's no expense for me to send it from New York or Kansas or wherever. So I'll give them my name, address. About a week goes by and I start thinking, I say, oh wait, didn't this guy say he was going to send me something? And I'll contact him on Facebook like, hey, are you going to give me a tracking number when your beer shipment comes in? Oh yeah, I was busy. Yeah, I got it boxed up. Just need to get down to the post office and mail it out. And I say, oh, okay. I didn't want to bother you about it. Oh, no, man, no problem. I said, because I had problems with some other people in the past, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, no, that's not me. I'm not like that. Okay. I mean, we talking about something that would take, 4 days to get at the worst case, 4 days. We talking about one guy here. I've been talking to him since June. Tells me, it might have been July. Tells me in July. Yeah, it was July. I'm going to send you some cream ale from New York. It's so great. I said, oh, okay. July. So August, September, October, November, December. We 5 months. What do you see in my hand? You see any cream ale? I don't. You say, oh, you're just begging for beer. Wrong-o. That's wrong. You are wrong, because I didn't even ask these people to send me anything. They came to me. You see, that's the point. The pertinent point is that they approached me and said, I want to send you some beers from my hometown. And I advised them, no, don't worry about that. No, I insist. And then it doesn't come in. So you're not going to tag me as being the bad guy. No way, Jack. When Paul Anner came to me, they said, we want to send you beer to review. I said, okay, I'm not going to just give it a good score because you sent it. They said, no problem, So guess what? It came in. Huh? There it was, the box. Paul Anner, Germany. Huh? I drank it, reviewed it. No problem. No big deal. No big deal. Now, there was a delay once, and I asked the lady, I said, what's going on? Oh, she said, that's the people in America. We haven't gotten it from Paul Anner. There's some kind of delay. And then it came in, and a few days later, I got it. So that's the whole point, Shadow. If you approach somebody with something, just do it. Do it. Don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. If I tell somebody I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. It's going to get done. It's going to happen. It will happen. It will happen. And I think that's an important thing, that you live up to your word. Don't be a weasel. One guy on Facebook, I said, what's up with the beer? And he kept saying, oh, yeah, it's coming. And then he blocked me, unfriended and blocked me. I said, what a weasel, And we don't want our viewers being weasels. Ron, have you seen the new Guinness Over the Moon Milk Stout? Seen pictures on the internet, but I've never seen it down here. All right, I got to go. So Seagram's wins. It's way better, but it better be because it's way more expensive. But I'm starting to get a taste for the Clubhouse. It's not as bad as I first castigated it for. It's actually pretty good. I just was confused by it. Yeah, can't expect much from people nowadays, says Shadow. I know, I just don't get it. I do not get that weaselly behavior. All right, I'm going to watch the news, y'all. Thanks.